If you have your PNG titles here that seem kind of still for that full 5 seconds, there are some things that we can do that don't involve changing the scale. Now I've played around a little bit with my intro here, and this is what you can do when you've got your layers separate. It just looks like one thing here, but that's nested together, where you can see how we have two backgrounds doing two different things and then using a transition to just move those onto the screen. So if that's a little bit beyond what you're able to do, you can at least do this. I'm going to go to the very beginning of where I can see all of it. I may decide to move those keyframes afterwards, but I want you to look for the Effects workspace to do this. So under Effects, you can type FAST, and the Fast Color Corrector can be dropped as an effect on your title. And if you scroll down, you'll see this big circle here. And all we need to change in order to get something nice out of this is the hue angle. And as you can see, as I drag that number forward, it's just spinning around the color circle, and you get a lot of change over there. So I'm going to put it back to 0, where it's going to start, and keyframe the hue angle. Then I'm going to go to the end. Notice it's a little hard to see like where my end really is. I want to be able to see that whole thing. And of course it's a circle, so if we want all of the colors changing pretty quickly, we can do 360 degrees. 1x means one full rotation. So let's see what that does. From this keyframe, it's just going to fluctuate through all these different hues. And then if you want to, you can actually then move these into those cross dissolve. So they're actually way over here. So by the time it fades in, those colors are already doing their thing. And then as it dissolves away, it's still doing that. So it doesn't like stop. Another thing you can do with your keyframes in order to not have that moment where it's not moving is to push these keyframes over into those cross dissolves like you just saw me do with those. When you do this, everything stays in motion the whole time. There's no like watching it dissolve in and it's still and then all of a sudden it starts moving. So I've already done that for this one. Like right here, nothing's happening with that picture in the background until the keyframe, and then it starts to go. So just take these if you want to take a little bit of time and push your keyframes out into those transitions. It actually is kind of nice to see that where it does not freeze or stays frozen and then it starts moving after the transition is over. So I'm pushing those all out. That can make a real difference on your video. Try it for yourself and see what you think. If it's not worth it to you, then no worries. This was not a mandatory thing. But I had a lot of folks who wanted to change this. Now you can see that I've got the text and this is separate. That's importing from Photoshop. Let me do Fast Color Corrector again really quick. So I'm going to go to the beginning and keyframe the hue. Go to the end and then change the hue to 360. That caused another keyframe. So now my animals is color changing in the background, but the word animals stays the same.